Presently, he is associated with Maths Institute of Management and Entrepreneurships. Beside a faculty, he is a mentor and advisor for startups. He supports startups in marketing and building brands and guide them in pitch desk so that the startups can get the good support in selling their products as well as boosting their sales. He is an active member of TIE Bengaluru chapter. I welcome you for this session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Now the session is over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. I thank Dr. Vinay, who is the director here, for giving me opportunity and signing me off. And Bharat sir, thank you very much for all the coordination and support. Thank you to the Sheshadrapuram Institute of Management Studies for having me for this program. And thank you all the participants who are here to attend this program. Okay, to start with a couple of things. One is that I request all of you to interact. Let's have a two-way communication rather than me speaking and you listening. So that's the one thing. And at the end, you can also ask me a question which I'm available for. Okay, and to start with, I'm just sending a small link in the chat box. I request you all to fill it up. I'll give you around 5-7 minutes for that. Pretty quick, just to give me an insight on what is your state and level in entrepreneurship journey as you embark on that. Number one. Number two, I'll be also putting you in a basket of for the direct mailer, which I intend to send it to you on some more resource material on entrepreneurship and startup as and when I come across them. I don't mind sharing with all of you. So that is another reason why I'm doing it. Here is a link. I request you to take 5 minutes time to fill up. It's a small quiz, an activity you can participate. Okay, over to you here. Can you all see the activity? Get the link? Have you all got the link in the chat box? Should not take more than 5 minutes for you to fill it up. Simple, easy. Sindhu R, thank you. You're the first one to fill in the response. Prithvi Gowda, the second response. Come on, guys. We already started late, so let's try and make the most out of the time. Bharat sir, thank you for responding.
Thank you, sir.
A simple quiz. Guys are taking time, so I think just 4 questions quickly. I think should not take more than 2 minutes or so. So we have Sindhu, Prithvi, Bindu Shri, Bharat sir, and Pavitra. Okay, as the others continue to write, I think since we started late, let me not take more time and spend more time on that. People, please quickly move on and fill it. And the meantime, I'll start the session. Once again, welcome and thank you for the opportunity. And the topic for today is role of incubators in national development. As you know, the startup scene in India is very, very vibrant, going in all direction. Now we have government support, we have institutes coming in forward, we have some of the industry veterans coming in and stretching, outreaching to the young startups and guiding them, guiding some of the founders and people who are working on that with their ideas, and moving them and taking to the next level and making it grow. So we will go through all that, and we'll also focus, our main focus is what is incubators and how are they going into national development. But before that, I just thought I'll give you a small gist of what is a entrepreneurship, a startup scene in India. Okay, because I don't want to straight away get dwell into the topic of incubators as such. So to start with, here's a small story. Okay, the reason is that how an entrepreneur, those of you who are here and obviously looking at building up your venture, scaling up and going in, into moving in, creating and growing your own startup and your own entrepreneurship venture. So here is a small story that I want to tell you. The story dates back to 1848, California village. Those days, yes, it is California village, because those days in 1848 it was called California village, where there was a mining, digging was happening for a mine. Okay, and one carpenter. Am I audible to everybody? Can somebody quickly respond?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So one day, one carpenter noticed a kind of yellow substance, at the base of the water, which was there in the mine, and He picked it up and now he realized that it's a piece of gold which is there in that water. He immediately ran to his boss and told him, see, I found a piece of gold in the water which is there. Okay, and then but the owner was not amused. He said it could be a small piece of gold which was there. So he said, leave that and continue with your digging of your mining, because that's more important for us. But however, the owner said that you can take your own time after your work hours, and if you want to spend time, dig and search for more gold, you are welcome to do that. And that is how, and then the news of that finding of the gold spread, and turned out to be there was a kind of a gold mine of 340 tons of gold buried in that California village. As the news spread, US saw the biggest, one of the largest migration, of people to this California village, and over 3 lakh people came in. They saw a huge influx of people coming in and trying out their luck and trying to find out the gold which is there. Okay, and the gold rush lasted for 7 long years. You must be wondering what is the essence of this story. Hold on, you'll come to know why. Okay, so it lasted for 7 years and went on till 1855. And during this whole time, there are a lot of people died, some with looting, murder. Some of them, in order to carry the gold, which they found out on horsebacks, they were carrying too much gold, and the horses fell, and they also fell and died. All this kind of thing happened. Okay. Now, my question to you, let's open this topic here and let me hear your view. Who made money in this whole gold rush? Are the people who are mining the gold, who are the mine owners, or the laborers who dug the gold? Can somebody respond to me? Who made maximum money? Students, please react and interact.
Even you can put your responses in chat.
You can put it in chat also, or you can open up. I would love to hear more voices. Who made more money, the mine owners or the laborers?
Owners, sir.
Owners, good. Any other views?
Mine owners, sir.
Mine owners, any other views?
So the mine owner.
Okay, I think looks like nobody has read or heard people who are digging the mine. Yes, sorry. Who was that? Can you repeat? I think the net is a problem. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay, actually it was the group of people who were never in the hunt for gold, nor they tried digging the gold, nor they were mining the gold. They are the people who made maximum money. And who are they? They were the entrepreneurs who built businesses around this village of California and directed their business to those who have come to mine and hunt and dig for the gold. They realized that the demand for some material, okay, which are required there, okay, for the people who are mining and digging the gold will be going up. Okay, and those are the people who were selling shovels and horses to the miners, and they sold shovels and horses at 50 times the regular price. They are the people who made the maximum money. And also there was one more set of people. One of them was a German-American businessman who realized the need for a sturdy pair of trousers for the miners with extra pocket, okay, and manufactured rugged pants for miners. And a brand was born. Can anybody guess this brand? A famous brand, still alive. Some of you might be, aware of this brand. I requested all of you to participate. This is what happens. Let's participate. Can anybody take a guess? Wild guess? Which was the brand of a pair of trousers with extra pockets for miners, which was born in this small village those days called California Village? Any guesses? This is the brand some of you might be wearing at this moment. Levi Strauss. This was born in that city. Okay, now the second one is another New York butcher. He decided to open a meat market to serve the miners with their share of meat, because he was of the opinion these miners who are digging, searching for the gold, require all the protein and energy to do this work, and he opened up a butcher shop there to sell the meat. And this turned out to be another big money spinner in US. Even now it's there, called Armor Meat Processing Company. Okay, again around flourished around California City. The third one is two partners, Henry Wells and William Fargo, decided to offer mailing, banking, transportation to these miners, because when they come, they need to keep in touch with their families by writing them a letter, keeping their money safely, whatever little money they brought in that city, because as they go digging for gold, they need to keep their valuables somewhere. So they needed a storage thing. They also needed transportation to move back and forth to the mining city and also go back to their home state, where they were living, take them whatever gold they found it. This company is today over 20 billion. Can anybody guess this company? Any guesses here? I'm sure this company might have come to your campus for recruitment also.
Wells Fargo?
Yes, sir. This is Wells Fargo. Again, this was born around the same gold revolution. And this brand is still alive. So what we are looking very much prevalent in the entrepreneurs and those who are looking at creating their own startup, they don't follow the herd. Okay, they just don't want to follow what's happening. They rather want to create something on their own, identify a different kind of service, a different kind of product, and position it to the other set of people who are not in that direction, and find opportunity. They are the people who will find opportunity which will created due to the existence of the herd mentality founders. Okay, now what is the startup ecosystem in India? How is it? We are third largest ecosystem in the world. Okay, at this moment today. Okay, year-on-year growth, we are giving it around 12 to 15% year-on-year growth that we are seeing in among the Indian startup. Ventures by women entrepreneurs are at 14%. And then we have over 50,000 startups across India, which have been registered by DPIIT, which is Department of Indian Entrepreneurship and Technology, which is there. Total jobs in the startup ecosystem is that over 200,000, 2 lakh is the kind of jobs which are created by the startups. Bangalore is listed as world's top 20 leading startup cities in 2019, and also ranked as one of the fastest top 5 cities in the world today when it comes to startup. Indian startup have raised over 20 billion in 2021 as of today. That's the kind of valuation they have gone to raise money. Okay, these are some of the startups which have become unicorns. The year 2021 January we saw Digit, and then that's what the thing. Then we have June seeing browsers. Then we move to July and August. We saw Grofers reaching unicorn, Upgrade. Then September we saw Vedantu and MPL, the cricket betting, cricket team creating and betting company which is there. October we saw CoinSwitch and Licious and MobiKwik. Very soon MobiKwik is also coming out with its own IPO. So that's that. And Rebel Foods which is a car deco, also saw becoming a unicorn in 2021 as of October. So that's the kind of numbers that we have. That those are the brands which are turning out to be unicorns in India. Now, what are the incentives from the government for startups? Self-certification compliance. You don't need to go anywhere else. No inspection for the first 3 years. That's one of the benefits that you have. No income tax on profit for the first 3 years. That's what one of the big benefit. Mobile app for starting registration in point filing fees which has been extended by the government, that if in case you think are very much active. Am I audible? I think I disconnected for a while.
Yes, sir. We can listen to you.
Okay, great. I think there was some kind of a jerk. Okay. Then we have 31 Innovation Center at National Institute, dedicated fund of 10,000 crores to promote startup. 5 new bioclusters and 7 new research parks are there. These are the things which are there. Patent laws have been and IPR have been simplified for the startups to come forward and register their patents and their new ventures. So these are the new incentives which are there for startup and entrepreneur. Okay, women entrepreneur, I see some of the young, vibrant girls who are here, and they are looking at opportunities are increasing education level. Women folks are coming in on all spare. Okay, going in and scaling all heights and completing and moving forward in education in various technical field. Risk taking ability, women folks are coming forward and open to taking risk. We have I think tomorrow is the date for one more new IPO coming in. I think that is 28th October is Nykaa, which is Falguni Nayak, which was part of one of the questions which was there. I purposely put that because they're coming out with their IPO tomorrow morning. Okay, so that government support is very high, as you just now saw in the previous slide. What we're looking at, a family is supporting. There's no more family restriction on women folks entering into various businesses and coming out with their own, startups and ventures. Okay, changes in social dynamics. We are moving ahead. More liberal thought process is coming in, giving opportunities and opening up a lot of things for women folks. Okay, support to women entrepreneur. Government of India has got a lot of schemes wherein they can generate capital which is required for their business. Annapurna scheme, Bharatiya Mahila Bank business loan, Mudra Yojana, Oriental, Mahila Vikas, Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana, Dena Shakti, all these various schemes. Some of the leading ladies who are there in India, leading from the front. We have Kiran Majumdar Shah, Anisha Singh, and there you can see Falguni Par, Nayak, Upasana Thakur, and all these are, Vandana Luthra, VLCC, Nisaba Godrej, the second generation from the Godrej family coming in and setting up her venture. All these are women entrepreneurs coming in front. So ladies who are here, girls who are here, buckle up, come forward. You have a lot of things coming in. Way. Now coming into incubator. What is incubator? Young firms, helping them to survive their stage. Now what happens here is that the incubators are there who are there. In fact, most builders, even hell ideas, it is the incubator who will come to, whom you'll reach out and who will help you in selecting and helping you in selecting which is the right idea that you can take it forward. And how that happens, I'll explain that to you. But they are the people who are there even before you start your venture. You can go to incubators even before you started your venture, and they will extend all possible help. Infrastructure, support, office, meeting room, these are the things that they provide you. They have their own. I have personally visited your own college incubation center. I've seen one of the very good facilities that they have. The internet is there, the cabins are there, cubicles, infrastructure wise quite good, location wise quite good. Everything, you have meeting room, board rooms which are there for you to have private meetings with your team or with your customers or vendors. All this there. You have networking platform. Most of the incubators are there in a lot of other forums where they can help you with networking with other professionals. Could be a technical guy, tech guy, could be a finance guy, could be a patent lawyers, and all those kind of experts in various field who could be hand-holding you and helping you in giving shape to your venture or idea which is there. Management assistant, yes, they do have some of the leading corporate experts who are there, who can be there and hold you and guide you, and with their leadership skills that they have. Marketing assistant, most of these incubators, they also provide marketing assistant, guide you in identifying the customer, identifying the market fit, identifying and helping you to segment your customers, and look at it, which is the segment that you need to focus, which segment is more susceptible to respond to your product or service idea that you're offering, how to reach out to them various way, whether the digital marketing way or the traditional way. All that is provided by these incubators. Link to strategic partners. At certain time, what happens, you need to have certain strategic alliances associated with some other bigger organization for technical know-how, for some kind of a research-based data that you need, research-based backing that you need. So they have all the expertise in guiding you in that direction. Help with regulatory compliance. There's a lot of regulatory compliance you have patent, your legal papers, and other such things that you require. So these incubators, help you with all these regulatory compliance, GST filing, getting all the getting the company registered with ROC, getting your DIN numbers. All these areas, these incubators will support you. Choosing an incubator, how do you, what are the things that you need to look at, as you are in the process of which incubator? There are so many incubators there. You look around it, you have incubators there. So how do you pick up the incubator which is the right one for you? How do you look at and decide on that? And that is research, and only research. You need to look at it, various things. What are the things? I'll tell you. Okay, first is look at the mentors associated. Most of the incubators have got industry veterans who are there, who have come from a specific background. Supposing you're looking at tech-based product, there will be the mentor should have at least one mentor in that incubation organization. Incubator should be from a tech background. If you're looking at something like agri-related one, so there should be at least one or two mentors associated with that incubation service provider who are from agriculture industry, could be a veteran in that industry or agri-tech related, those things. If you are looking at starting something in fintech, financial services, you need to see who are the professional, industry professional. Are they from banking industry? Are they from financial institution? All those kind of background which are there. If they have mentors who are associated and coming from that industry, help you in getting right input and right hand holding that is required. So look at the mentors who are associated with each of these incubators. Timing, you need to decide when do you go, because most of the incubators, they will not take you if you're already started generating revenue, because incubation or incubators will associate with you only when you are into idea stage, wherein you have a idea or multiple set of idea, and you need to work on which idea to take it, how to take it, how to go about setting up, how to go about getting commercial thing, get into MVP, your minimum viable product, how to go in for testing. All these areas is where incubators comes in. So timing is very, very important for you. You can't be going in late. Okay, evaluate the program, and that is where incubator programs are there. I'll cover that later in my slides. Okay, the programs these incubator offer is for a particular duration. Now you need to look at it. What are the things that they are offering in that program? Do they have program which will help you in looking at the product market fit, which will help you in identifying the right idea that you have among the couple of ideas that you have? Do they have a clarity, will give you a clarity about how to look at customer, how to onboard your first set of customer, which is very, very important. Psychologically, financially, in everywhere, it's very, very important for you as you onboard your first set of customer or first set of 100 customer that you have, whatever it is, whichever case you are there. So that's very, very important. You need to look at it, whether the incubator that you're joining, are they going to assist you in those process, understanding these areas and excelling these areas. Link to financial institution. Most of the incubator do provide a support to you and guide you to financial institution where you can raise some kind of a early assistance, a kind of seed capital which is there, bank loans and other such things which are there. So what kind of linkages, what kind of alliances, associations that they have with these financial institutions matters a lot for you. Evaluate equity dilution. You also need to see some of the incubator, not all, not at all of them, but very few of the incubator, they look for equity stake. So that is when you need to stretch out a part of your equity, maybe 1%, 2% or 3%, as you join them on board and take their incubation services and mentoring services. So you need to dilute, partake or share part of your company's stake with them. So that is when you need to see what is the percentage that you're looking at it. I will check, come back to this topic at a later time in my presentation. Prepare your pitch. These incubators also help you, in preparing your pitch. You need to prepare your own pitch as you present it, because incubation, when you go there, you need to prepare your pitch and tell them that what are you looking at, what problem of the consumer that you're likely to address, and how is that response going to be, what are the other people who are there, who are the competitor, what is the total TAM, as we call it, total achievable market, total available market, which is there for that particular product or service. Those information is required. So you need to pitch your business idea to these incubation. Consult the alumni. You also need to check who are the other startups or entrepreneurs who are moved out of after taking the incubation service from this particular service provider. You need to contact them and find out how good and what is their experience about this particular incubation service that you are reaching out. Are they able to live up to the expectation? What are the gaps, if at all there are any gaps? How you can leverage on their expertise in creating and scaling up your business. So that's very, very important. You need to always look at who are the people who moved out successfully from this particular incubation service. Then you have industry specific. There are certain incubation services which are industry specific. I was mentioning earlier, you have edtech services. There are some incubation incubators who are there only providing their support for any company which is into incubation, into fintech company. There are certain who are there in agri-tech. There are some who are in education. There are some which are in food or maybe cloud kitchen kind of thing. So you need to see whether you need to onboard with an industry specific incubator, or you can go in for a general incubation services. So that also need to be something that you need to pay attention to. What is the role of incubator? Why do you need them, and what role do they play in your growth, in taking your idea and giving the shape to your idea? Guide the startup on how to compete with the established player. Remember one thing, most of the ideas or most of the product or service that you are looking at will already have a competitor. Okay, when Ola entered, Uber also entered, and then when Bounce came, you have Vigo came, and all these things. So there is in most of the product circle that we see, or service provider that we see, there is already a competitor. If not, there will be a competitor. Look at it. 7 years back, when you had this ID Idli Dosa came in, it was one of standalone branded idli and dosa batter which was there. But today you go to any established supermarket, you'll find at least 4 or 5 different brands of the same thing. So the ID could have been the first recognized branded idli dosa batter which came in, okay, with support with a lot of funders, including Azim Premji Foundation, Azim Premji's personal office, which has funded, supported financially the ID Idli Dosa. But then today, look at it, competition has also entered that space. So you have competition everywhere. Now these incubators will help you to how to fight and establish your business, in spite of the fact that there are competitors. Competitors are there everywhere. In fact, the competition makes us, position your product and service in a better way, and also try and give that additional value and specific benefit to your customer, which your competitor may or may not be providing. Help with the basics of business. There are a lot of areas, because most of these startup today's thing, the average age is around 28 or 25. That's what we are looking at in India. So these are most of the startup, the founders of the startup, they're very at early age. Some of them just finished their education and come in and set up their own businesses. Pretty good for that. Some of them have worked for a couple of years, maybe 1-2 years, and try and garner whatever money that they have and start with working and tinkering with their idea. So in any case, what happens is that they are not so much aware, and they don't know the nitty-gritties of businesses, how the various department function, how to navigate, how to keep the team motivated, all that. So these are the incubators, these are the mentors who will help you with the basics of business, looking into the certain foundation of setting up your business. Provide networking activity. As I mentioned earlier, you need to also look at it. What kind of networking opportunities which is provided and supported by this incubator? Some of the incubators are well connected with some of the bodies which are there, which extend a lot of other support, financial support, infrastructure support, research support, all other support. Maybe they will also provide you gateway to some of the other markets which are there outside the country, or maybe inside the country, whichever way. So these are the incubators should have their own networking properly done for with this support. help startups save on operating costs. And as you see, most of the incubator, they provide you with office space, cabin, boardroom, internet, the entire, the setup is provided. Your infrastructure is taken care. So the incubators help you in keeping your fund on a tight leash. You don't need to go overboard, hiring an office, go to WeWork or go to any other, sharing office space and spending thousands of rupees on a monthly basis, even though you may not be doing any business in the early stage of your business. So here it comes in incubator. They'll charge you a fraction of that money that you'll be paying to these office infrastructure, and you'll have to go in for separate internet connection, separate this, separate that. All that can be saved, and when you join and come on board with an incubator, so that's help you. Most of the bootstrap are well connected with various bodies, which will help you in reach out to the potential set of customers, potential set of potential set of people who can help you in reaching out further deeper into the market. Okay, help with market research. So most of the incubators, they also have access to some of the industry related data, product related data, because of their own inroad and because of the mentors who have been in the same field for so many years. You could be having somebody who is 15, 20 years in hotel industry, and supposing you are coming out with something to do with hotel industry or hospitality or tourism travel. So these mentors who are there, who are veterans from that industry with 15, 20 years having spent in the industry, they will have some data, they will have some research area, figures with them, which will help you in navigating and properly positioning and coming out with the products which will be able to move faster, have a better commercial viability among the market. 3D infrastructure, as I have already mentioned, most of the incubator come with their own infrastructure. We have support financial management. They also help you in guiding how to manage the little fund that you have, because most of these startup, they come out with their own personal saving, borrowed from friends, relatives, parents, or whatever it is. So there's always a scarcity of fund that you have, and you need to make sure that this little capital that you come and start your business with has to last as long as possible till you start moving into the commercial launch of your product and start seeing the revenue coming in. So that money has to last. So that require very, very critical financial management, and which these incubators, mentors associated with incubation services are expert in providing that. Access to bank loans. Some of the incubators, they help you in reaching out to the banks and to avail some of the loans which are there, either through the government scheme or with the bank scheme that they have. Access to network of professionals. Some of the incubators are very well connected in so many networks. You have the TIE Bangalore, where I'm also a member. TIE is the Indus Entrepreneurs, which is a global setup started from US by the Indians. It is run by the Indians for the Indians in Indian cities. It's there globally, but India has got so many chapters. One of them is in Bangalore, TIE Bangalore, TIE as we call it. I am also a member with that. So these kind of bodies do provide you a lot of networking opportunity with industry experts, with tech experts, with specific people who can guide you in various areas as you are looking at going deeper with your business. Access to VCs and angel fund. This is also one of the areas where incubators help you in connecting you to the venture capitalists and angel investors. Okay, startup accelerator. This is a different term. Remember, why I'm showing this accelerator to you is that how are they different from incubators? So there are two different terms: accelerator, incubator. Okay, lot of people who do not know the difference, they use each of these terms, either of the term for the other one. It's not that there are two different things. Let's not read this now. Let's straight away go to why accelerator. I'll come to the differences later. Why startup accelerator? You have comprehensive support. Now, accelerator, if you look at here, it's a 3 to 5 months in-person program, not done through video calls or Zoom calls and other things. Totally in-person program. You need to be there with them. And at a particular time, there are easily 10 or maybe 5 companies, going up to 30 companies onboarded together for the accelerator program. And they will take also equity anywhere between 1, 5, or even more than that. And generally, the accelerator program, it ends with a demo day, wherein you need to give a demo of your product or service that you have. We will see more of that, in a short while. comprehensive support. Accelerator, they give a total support. They not only give you marketing support, they also work with you in various areas and making sure there is a growth that comes into your business. Okay, and how it comes, what happens is that accelerators come into picture when you already started rolling out, you already started doing business with it. That is when accelerator comes in. Accelerator do not come at the idea level, they come in at the growth level. You already started seeing revenue, your product is available in the market, you just need, your car has started moving in first gear. These accelerators, they come and take your car to second gear or third gear or fourth gear, whatever it is. So they come into picture only when your commercial revenue started coming in. That is where, and they also have pretty detailed, very well connected investor access. That is one of the main thing which accelerators come into picture. Accelerated knowledge that they know how to take your startup, your venture from the just seeing the revenue part to a growth thing where you start seeing the revenue in multifold, number one, and number two, where you start offering multiple services, creating the range for offering for your customer, and also grabbing in the bigger market share, beating the customer, and then expanding your business geographically also. So these are the areas where the accelerator comes in. Identify future customer. You already have set of customer, you started seeing revenue. Okay. Now these accelerators, they come in picture when you really need to look at it, what is there beyond this for me. These are the customers that I have, what else is there, who else is there for me, who are there beyond this set of customers. So that is when they help you identifying the future customer for you. Skill development for founding team, you also have your own founder. Most of the accelerator come into picture when they see the business has started coming in. So you have 1, 2 or 3 or whatever number of founding team that you have, co-founders that we call them. So they provide necessary skill for these founder team, because what happens is that you created your venture, you are at this time, you started seeing commercial billings happening. So you are a 10 people unit wherein you have 2 founders and then you have 8 people, 2 of them working in IT part, your app, e-commerce app and other such thing. One is there as a connect with the market, one is their backend and all that. So you have 8 or 10 people team. That is what your team. But as you move ahead, as you grow, as you increase your business, your team is going to grow. From 10 people, 10 employee thing, it's going to go to 20, 40, 50, 100. So they will provide all the necessary training, input, mentoring to these founders and the leadership team, so that they are able to handle that growth in the team, that growth in the set of employers who are there. So that is where they come into picture. They have expertise where they can provide you all assistance and guide how to manage the team, how to retain the team, how to grow the team, not only the growth of your business, growth of your product portfolio, growth of your employee strength, growth of the infrastructure that you have, and growth in the revenue totally. Ecosystem of support, the accelerator generally have the entire ecosystem of support, right? From financial thing, raising a capital, you name them, that they have all of them support. Then you also have funding. They also provide you funding. The most of the accelerator, they themselves are well connected with the VCs, with the HNIs, that is a high net worth individual, with also family officers. I'll come to that later. Okay, what are the family officers? And with this link, they are able to provide the required and necessity capital infusion in your business, okay, with their connection. So that's where they are good. Here is the difference that I'm showing it to you between incubator and accelerator, which is very, very important for you. 6 to 24 months is the program that we have. Okay, we are looking at incubator generally at the very early stage of your journey that you have is you have 6 to 24 months program. The program generally takes that as a kind of duration, whereas accelerator program are from 2 weeks to 25 weeks. As I mentioned earlier, it generally ends with a demo day. That's where it ends. You need to pitch, you need to provide the entire demo of your product or service that you're looking at. Early stage, settling and focusing, and this is where incubator comes in, wherein you are at very early stage, nascent stage. Some of them have got multiple idea, some of them got one idea which they want to take it up further, but they don't know how to go about, and that is when incubator comes in. Whereas when it comes to accelerator, they are generally there with you at the growth stage after revenues have started. That is where accelerators come in. Run by universities, government bodies, and grants which are there. Most of incubator, your own college has got an incubator which is run by your institute. So generally universities, IIM Bangalore, IIM Kozhikode, BITS Pilani, Birla Institute of Management, and a lot of these other colleges, various colleges, various universities have got this incubation facility. Whereas accelerators are with HNIs, that is high net worth individual, venture capitalists, and family office. What is family officer? Is the office which are run by some of these people, like Azim Premji has got his own office which looks and keep on looking for the ventures which are which they find it interesting, which require a lot of support. So they identify those and invest in. Ratan Tata has got his own office which looks into this. Recently, Alia Bhatt also invested in particular venture. Can anybody tell me the name which Alia Bhatt invested just a week back? Alia Bhatt's office had invested in a particular startup. Anybody here who knows? Just to see how many of you are awake. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Bindushri. Can anybody tell me which is the recent startup wherein Alia Bhatt's office has invested? No guesses. Okay. Don't Google it. Okay. If you take more than 5 seconds to reply, that means you're Googling. It's actually a small startup called Phool, PHOOL. Now, interesting thing about this company is that it started a couple of years back, maybe 3-4 years back. I don't know exactly when. So what they started with is they started collecting the flowers from the Varanasi and Haridwar, that area. The flowers which are offered to the god in the temple. And the next day they are discarded. So these founders, they started collecting those discarded flowers instead of letting it flow into Ganga and Yamuna and creating pollution. They started collecting those flowers, getting into the recycling thing and manufacturing agarbattis, dhoops, and other such products. Okay. Now this startup has come in and started scaling up well. The products are available in a lot of places. Commercially, the products are available. Now that is where, supporting and part of the entire sustainability thing. That is where Alia Bhatt's office found it interesting to be part of it. And that is where they went ahead and invested in this startup called Phool. Okay, so that's something interesting. Okay, now next is where are we? No charges in most cases. Incubators don't have the charges. Most of them, they do a basic charge, very minimum level. I won't say no charge. I will say basic fees in most cases that they have. Okay, which is just for keep it going, running. That's what they do. Whereas accelerator, they charge 5 to 10% of equity. You need to offer them the equity as you join their accelerator program. And this is where the critical thing happens, is that today your venture, you started seeing commercial business coming in. You launch your product and things are moving in the right direction. Okay, you go to valuer and the valuer say your venture today I can value at 2 crore. Okay, that's the value of your business. And then you go to accelerator say I want 10% of equity and I'll provide you more funding. You can go national, you can start another manufacturing setup in another part of the country and help you with marketing and grabbing the market share and other thing, all that. But in exchange of all that, he asked for 10%. And he said, I'll get you a 50 lakh funding for this venture additionally with all these things. So I want 10% equity. So you offer the 10%. So remember what you have done is that you offered him 10% of your 2 crore equity valuation at that time. Now, from that time, in the next 2 or 5 years time, taking the 50 lakh and continuing with your commercial product and other, adding more product and expanding your geography, in 5 years time, your venture has been now valued at around 50 crore. Now, but then that accelerator who took 10% at the valuation of 2 crore, his valuation, his business today, what he has invested in you, since your business has become 50 crore, his valuation, his money invested has gone to 5 crore. So that is why you need to remember what are you offering at the initial stage, how much you are in pressure. So that is where negotiation comes in. You need to remember that whatever you offer to accelerator at the early stage, as your business grows, that person's stake also keeps growing. The value of his stake, just the percentage stake remains the same, but the value of that keep growing. So that will always have that. But incubator, most of them, they don't do the funding. Very rarely, some of the incubator may have the funding facility, but predominantly incubators, they don't fund. They don't invest in any of the startup. Whereas accelerator, they go from 10 to 30 lakh themselves and try and connect you with VCs and angel fund and help you in getting more investment for your business. Then you have incubators. You don't need any eligibility. You can just go meet them, tell them what you're doing and discuss with them what is your idea and how want you to take it up. They'll take you on board. Whereas when it comes to accelerator, there is a detailed selection process. Most of the good accelerator from where a good number of startups have come out, I have got a queue process wherein a lot of startups are queuing up to reach out to them, seek their attention. So there is an application process. You send in a detail, they will have interview process, and all that process happen. Only when they find that your idea is aligned with what they can provide you, they will take you on board, and from then on your journey begins. So that's the basic difference between accelerator and incubator. A leading incubator, what we have in India, you have AIC, DSU, Atal Incubation, Cisco is there, one incubator. Then you have Microsoft Accelerator, Indian Angel Network, iCreate, based out of Ahmedabad, which is one of the leading incubators which we have. Google Launchpad, Google also has got its own incubator service. CII, EIIMA, Center for Innovation Entrepreneurship by IIM Ahmedabad is also one of the leading incubators there. NSRCL, which is based out of Bangalore, part of the IIM Bangalore, is NSRCL. Then you have leading accelerator. Who are the accelerators in India? Again, Microsoft is there. Target is one more accelerator which is providing 500 startups which are there. You have NetApps there. Okay, we have Google there. Okay, these are some of the accelerators which are there. I just rushed into my presentation. I cut down some of them since we started late. 15 minutes are left. I am open for questions. You can note down my contact detail. You can reach out to me with any specific question. Otherwise, I am open for questions. Anybody has got any question, please reach out. Bharat sir, okay?
Yes, sir. As participants, if you have any doubts, you can put that in chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
Okay, I'm stopping the screen here. I hope most of them have noted down the contact detail of mine. Okay, thank you for patient listening. Yes. Any questions, anything that you need to ask, I'm open.
You can put that in chat. Sir, can you listen to me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one doubt regarding that incubation and other things.
Sure.
When it comes to student startups,
Yes.
they will be having classes at the same time. They'll be having their businesses and other things. So,
Yes.
what is your tip for managing that, sir?
Yeah, so that's been there a challenge for those of you who are studying either your degree level or your post graduation level. This challenge comes in because you have assignments, you have projects, you have your classes to attend. But that is how you dream big, you work hard and put in your heart and soul. You know that there is nothing that you need to find a way to be connected, remain in touch with your mentors who are there to guide you, and take necessary input and advice. Manage it. This is called multitasking. The skill of multitasking comes in. Or there are people who are working in organization and still went ahead and giving birth to their startups and entrepreneurship venture. Later on, as they saw movement happening in, as they are close to their commercial launch, they quit their job and started concentrating. Some of the students, what they do is they keep their ideas there as they come on to fourth semester during their MBA program or fourth year of their BTech or degree program. That is when they start taking their startup idea or their venture seriously and start rolling out, so that they're trying to time it out that as I move out of my education, I have something to take it up. And before that, they collect a lot of information, take the assistance and guidance and mentoring from the faculties who are there or the incubator service that they are attached with. So this is nothing but a skill of multitasking that comes into foreplay.
Okay, sir. Any other students who are having questions? You can post that in chat also. Yes. Sir, there is one question in chat posted by Dr. H. Muralidharan.
Yes, sir.
How do I know if my idea of business is good?
Okay, now this is where your incubators come in picture. If you are attached with an incubator, that is where you can bounce off the idea with the incubator and check. And also there is something called we call it as a testing thing. Your ideas is there. You put in the entire structure, your details, share it with your friends, family, and other people, to around 20-30 people, and ask them if this kind of product or service is available to them. Will they be one of the subscriber for that? But yes, make sure that they are the potential user or present user of the product. Let's say if you are looking at starting an app which will be providing the customers where they can select, sitting at home, you can select that which car garage I want to give my car for servicing. You don't want to go on and hunt it. So instead you have an app, you download that, put in your address, the location, and then search for the various options of car garage, car service companies which are there. Select one of them. So if that is the service that you're providing, try and meet around 20-30 car owners and ask them what kind of challenges that they're facing when it comes to looking for service for their car, and what kind of charges they're paying. What are the charges they pay for each of the various things that they can recall. Of course, most of them, they will not be able to give you in detail what kind of service they're paying for each of the area, but then overall they know 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 is what they pay once in a year for overhauling, cleaning and servicing, oil change, other thing. And then what kind of problem they face with the present car service companies that they are associated with, and what would they like to see different one if the same service is provided with an app. Okay, with either the pricing is one of the factors which can come down, or with additional service or additional area that is there. So if this is provided to them, what is their view? Will they subscribe to that? Will they be open to try this out? That is where you do. But then you can't do that with housewives who do not drive car, who do not own car. So you need to look at relevant customers. Okay, then try and bounce off this idea. Or if you have an MVP, which is a minimum viable product, an app or something, you can try it with them. Like somebody, there is somebody who wants to start, let's say, a bakery thing, which is making cakes and other such dessert item. So you can start with giving a small sample as a sample, or maybe check with them that what is that, from where are they buying their next order for cakes and donuts and other things. What is the challenge that they have? Are they getting home delivery, or they have to go and pick it up from them? And what if there is somebody who is expert in that, if they provide it through a phone call, through a WhatsApp, and the deliveries are done at home, and it is made at home, not in an industrial kitchen. So safe, hygiene, good quality, delivered at home. What is their idea? So this is the way you can check with your own friends, family, relatives, and try and bounce off your idea and see what is the reaction they have, what is their feedback on that particular service which they are providing. I'm sure I answered your question, Dr. Muralidharan.
If anyone is having any doubts, you just ask it.
No more questions.
Sir, yes. Yes, students, if you have any doubts, you can ask it immediately. I'll be putting the assessment and the feedback form in the chat box. You have to fill it for getting certificate. Simple assessment form. Yes. Okay. Yes, I think there are
Yes, sir.
no doubts.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, I thank Professor Prakash Nimbalkar for accepting our invitation
Thank
and addressing our participants and giving ideas related to how to choose incubators and accelerators and so on. And I also thank our director, Dr. Vinay, for his support. I also thank all participants and staff for giving support in making this program successful. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, sir.